Greetings, every peoples! Your cult of personality here. ToonKritic's the name. Toon's the name of my game. Welcome back to Roundtable is Magic, the little podcast where we take a look at My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. We review the show, we look at different aspects of it, and sometimes we do interviews. Today, we have a very special guest with us. Now, you know how we had M.A. Larson on here a couple episodes back? Well, I dug back in, and I decided, hey, we need another awesome writer on here, and I think
we need the better one.
I'm not gonna agree.
That's the funny thing.
I'm not gonna agree or deny with you on that. But we've picked someone very special. We'd like to welcome to Roundtable's Magic, ladies and gentlemen, Amy Keating Rogers.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing today, Amy? If I may call you Amy.
You may call me Amy. Absolutely, I'm doing well, thanks.
Okay. We of course have a bunch of co-hosts here with us as well. We have Lightning Bliss.
They dragged me here. I'm so sorry, Amy.
We have, of course, British Ninja.
I mean, I don't see M.A. Larson working for Disney, just saying, you know, I'm going to put my one out.
Oh!
Ninja, behave, Jesus.
Oh! Manners.
And I know that she's wanted to be in one of these for the longest time. Keyframe.
I was able to trudge my way out from the non-interviewing circle with a soup spoon and a dream, and now I'm here for Amy Keating Rogers, which, by the way, Toon, on Twitch, you misspelt her last name.
Oh, awesome.
I don't think we're interviewing Amy Keating and the Los Angeles Rogers.
No, I got it. No, okay, no,
Yeah.
it's right. It's right. It'll be right on the video. I can edit it. It's okay. Work it out in post.
Okay, no. You've gotten the actual video correct, but the title of the stream itself is Rogers.
No one knows. No one will ever know.
Anyway, it's good.
Anyways, so
it's great
yes,
to be here.
yes. Thank you so much for taking time out to do this interview.
No problem.
You're welcome.
Keeping it very simple, very straight. All right. So yeah, we've interviewed like tons of people on Roundtable so far, so I think we're all gonna have a great time. So let's get the first thing out of the way. For those that don't know who you are, Amy, who are you? What do you do?
I am a writer for animation, and I've written on. I started with the Powerpuff Girls many, many years ago. I then moved on to Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Johnny Bravo. And those were all in-house at Cartoon Network. And then I began freelancing, and I wrote for many things, from Fairly Odd Parents to Danny Phantom to story editing Care Bears, and then, most importantly, writing for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
And then the rest is history.
What series of the Care Bears did you write for? Like from the 80s, 90s?
No, there was a recent. Relatively recent one. There's Care Bears Welcome to Care-a-Lot.
All
and
that.
And Care Bears and Cousins.
Okay.
I swear, I think someone mentioned like one of the more recent Care Bears series to me a while ago.
No,
Here.
Matt Hill did.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay, I remember that now. Okay, so was writing your dream job, or did you have any other job ideas in mind before getting into writing?
Writing was not my dream job at all. My dream job was to be an actor. I was always a bit of a ham as a kid. And then in high school, I did musical theater and I did straight plays. I then went to Occidental College, where I was a theater major.
Oh.
But then in my senior year at Oxy, I needed a credit in order to finish my my major, and so I took a playwriting class and discovered that I was really good at it and enjoyed it. And so I was just doing that on the side, and then I got my MFA in acting at Cal Arts, and continued writing plays on the side. And some of them were produced at Oxy, some of them were produced at Cal Arts. Then I graduated from Cal Arts and started pursuing acting in LA, which, as I'm sure you've heard, is challenging.
Very.
So I had a side job at a place called, and you have to be of a certain age to know about this, it's called 1-800-DENTIST, where people call up and you refer them to dentists. And it was a good job for lots of artists because then you could go on auditions. So you could like move your shift around easily to go on auditions. And I was a member of a theater company at that time and did some shows there. And one of the members of the theater company decided to produce one of my plays, not with the theater company, but separately. Meanwhile, I got a production assistant job on the Powerpuff Girls. And so when my play was being produced, I was working on Powerpuff, and Powerpuff was having problems with their writing, and they needed help. And so Craig McCracken gave me a chance to start doing some freelance on Powerpuff. So I did that. And then by the end of that year, I was head writer of the show. So I just kind of, I just kind of segued away from theater and into writing for animation.
So for something that you were essentially doing on the side, you climbed the ladders. Wow. That is
not even trying.
Yeah, it was I was in the right place at the right time and prepared, and it was really great that Craig and Gendy Tartakovsky both gave me an opportunity to work on the show.
I think it would have been really cool if you were able to, like, actually lend your voice to some of the characters, like do a little bit of voice acting in there too, just to really sweeten the deal.
Yeah, as much as I'm a trained theater actor, I am not a trained voice actor, and that's a very special skill, in my opinion. And not that people can't do both, but I had no training in voice acting, so yeah, that wasn't something that. When you have Tara Strong voicing Bubbles, you've got the best. So.
Indeed. All right, Key, you're up next.
Okay. My question is, what would you say? Because MLP, besides Powerpuff, is probably one of the biggest known things that you've worked for. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite experience in writing for this show that, like, Powerpuff became this unexpected phenomena?
So, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I understand the question. What was my favorite thing about writing for MLP?
Yes.
Okay. My favorite thing was getting the chance to write song lyrics.
Ooh.
Because I did a little bit of that. I got to write lyrics. We did a Christmas special on Powerpuff Girls, and I got to write lyrics for a song that plays, I think, over the end credits. And then I wrote lyrics for something for Johnny Bravo. But with MLP, we just had a lot more opportunity. And the first song that I wrote lyrics for was for The Best Night Ever. And that was just a blast to write, because I thought of it in the where I was in the story meeting with Lauren Faust and Rob Renzetti, and they're like, yeah, we think there should be a song here kind of recapping what happened, because we heard about it in Ticketmaster, but we need to know what everybody's motivation is in going to the Grand Galloping Gala. And I immediately started figuring it out and hearing the lyrics in my head. And so that was a fantastic opportunity. And that then led to the Smile song, which is one of my favorite things that I've ever written. And then I got to write full musicals, 2 full musicals. So I would say writing lyrics for songs.
That's actually really cool. I imagine it's difficult to write for certain songs, I would think.
It depends. Like I said, I'm trained. I did musical theater when I was in high school, and I actually did vocal training when I was in college and graduate school. And so music is, I love music. I love musicals. So, and I end up making up dumb songs all the time just in life. So it depended if it helped move the action forward, or motivate a character. It wasn't as hard. It was what was challenging with The Best Night Ever. I actually recorded the whole thing with myself doing all of the voices, so that and nobody ever heard that. I sent it, and it never ended up getting to Daniel at all. So that was extra work that I just didn't need to do. That I made, so I made it hard on myself. But yeah, it's kind of fun because to me it's all a puzzle, and figuring out the puzzle of the lyrics is really neat.
I think you would be surprised by how many people actually got into the show through both the gala song and the winter wrap-up song.
Oh yeah, Cindy wrote the lyrics for that. And Cindy's an incredible musician. She plays the piano and writes and stuff, and she's amazing.
I think winter wrap-up was the lure that got them into the show, and then when they heard the gala song, they was like, okay, this level of quality is really nice to listen to.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I remember one of the first fandom things that I saw that had any property from the show derivatively was a 3D recreation of the entire Smile Song sequence, and I was like, who is this Pink Lady, and why do I love her so much?
I think for many, when the fandom was just starting out and when we were just slowly starting to get people in, like on YouTube and like on the animation and music side, a lot of remixes came out for Winter Wrap Up and Best Night Ever, because it was the easiest thing I think to do at the time, and you would see like it popping up all over the place, considering like how small the musician community was back then. Now, like, we have so many songs, like, okay, where do I start? What song do I remix now? So it's really cool about that.
Yeah, so is Blissey or Ninja?
It's Ninja.
I am next. Okay, so out of all of the shows that you've done in the past, like, what characters do you enjoy and least enjoy writing for?
I'm gonna stick with Pony here, since that's who people know about the most. But my favorite to write for on Pony is Pinkie Pie, because her brain is so kooky, and she says things that she shouldn't say, but her heart is in the right place, and you can just kind of go off the rails with Pinkie, and that's a fun place to go with your brain, or I find it fun. When saying the least, it always gets me in trouble. So my least favorite character, and my apologies ahead of time, and I know haters are going to hate on me and whatever, but I don't write for the show anymore, so you don't have to be cranky about it.
Yeah.
There you go, haters.
But Spike is hard to write for, and it's because you already have so many characters. You have the main six, and so making sure that what Spike says is important is challenging. I mean, and I never really got to write. The only Spike show I wrote Diamond Dogs, and that one, at least Spike. It's when Spike is just extra with the main six that he's challenging. When he has his own, meaty part, that's different, because then he's a focal point. So when I wrote that, it was okay because he was very active in trying to save rarity in that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can understand that. Spike is... I could see how he's a difficult character to write, because he tends to shine the most, I noticed, when he's supporting other characters. And even when he's not a focal point, he tends to shine the best when he's like the little brother that says, look, it's okay if you feel this way, or I know you're having a problem, it's okay, this is maybe what you should do. And then, of course, the character doesn't listen to him. But he's like the audience, basically.
Yeah.
And that's hard to write.
I can't imagine someone going up to you going, how dare you not write every character perfectly? What are you trying?
I think that's actually what makes some of the writers like really stand out. I think like some of the writers, like Amy, I think, for example, you do a spectacular job of like nailing down Pinkie Pie. And then let's say you have like other writers who are really good at writing for, say, Rainbow Dash, or others are really good for writing for Fluttershy. Like, each writer has a unique feel to them, I think.
Right. Yeah, when I had to write, when I wrote Testing 1, 2, 3, which is, Twilight and Rainbow Dash, it was challenging because I hadn't really written for those two characters very much. I mean, like years before I'd written Fall Weather Friends with Rainbow Dash, but Testing 1, 2, 3 was, gosh, I don't even know how many more years later, so I hadn't really written a lot of her. And then Twilight is the straight man of the group. And so to try and make sure, so you have the prankster and the straight man together, which, seems like, oh, that's just going to write itself.
Yeah.
But when you haven't
I love it.
when you haven't been writing for those characters, because I've done so much Pinky, even Applejack, I really enjoy because I love her countryisms and making her say, just very old folksy stuff. So, but then you have to jump in and write it, and you figure it out, and you find the relationship between those two characters and how they're going to bounce off of each other, and it comes out okay.
I noticed that, one thing that looking back on not just Pony, but your other works, you do tend to have a really good grasp with characters that are such foils to each other. Like, one of my favorite works from pre-Pony was actually the work you did for Samurai Jack, because the first time I saw your name was with Jack versus a Coup.
Right. And interesting with Samurai Jack, though, is that I wrote the outlines for Samurai Jack. That's a storyboard-driven show, so I didn't write that dialogue. And I forget, I don't know who boarded that, but the credit goes to them, absolutely. So I had to write an outline saying how they were going to bounce off of each other, but I didn't get to actually write that dialogue.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because storyboard-driven shows, the storyboard artist draws it and they do the dialogue for it. And a script-driven show, the scriptwriter does both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not both. They
I'm
don't draw.
learning
They don't draw.
something.
They don't draw. They just write. I couldn't draw to save my life. That'd be sad.
Aw.
That's all right. I think anyone is really good at drawing stick figures. So if you wanted to make a stick figure series, you're golden. You got this.
I can draw little flowers. That's it.
You can make that work too. You could have stick figures and little flowers. It's like weapons or something.
They're kind of stick figure flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta add a little bit of blue and a little bit of green, then a little bit of red and a little bit of blue.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. The Little Stick Flower show will be coming soon to some channel.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
You're the next question, Blissy.
Okay. So I grew up in G1, and I grew up in the times where it was a segregation of pink and blue. So by the time I'm 24 and G4 rolls around, I had tried to get my nostalgia back up by watching the original G1 first movie. And I was unfortunately disappointed because I think I was just too old to appreciate the dialogue and the plot.
Okay.
So I tried to avoid G4 for the longest time, and then I finally got into it. And what shocked me about the fandom was that there were a lot more males involved than the females. Now, this was a good shock. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, this means more opportunities to make more friends. And it would be with people that I wouldn't normally expect. And I'm looking at a lot of my friends right now. Like, I didn't expect to meet Mr. ToonKritic or British Ninja here. They're guys, and they like ponies. This is awesome.
So bizarre.
It is so bizarre, but it's so awesome. Anyway, my question is, what was your initial reaction to the Brony fan?
My initial reaction, I first heard about the Bronies when I was writing the last Roundup, and I needed to change a piece of dialogue or a character's name from Ditsy Doo to Derpy.
Oh, that's fiasco. Ooh.
Yeah, but this was before it was a fiasco. This is when it was just
This is when it was creation, yeah.
Yeah, this is when I was just writing the script.
Oh, okay.
And Lauren said, hey, Amy, can you change this character's name? Because this is what the fans call this character. And I was like, yeah, sure. So when I first heard that there was a fan base for Pony and it was an adult fan base, I wasn't surprised, actually, because I had worked on Powerpuff Girls. And we had a very large, all things considered, fan base of adult men for Powerpuff Girls as well. And the difference in time period is what kind of as the most significant. Back then, the internet just wasn't what it is today, or when the Brony fandom started up. And so fans like the Powerpuff, but then it was so much more gigantic, obviously. And I went to shortly after that, after last Roundup aired and that debacle happened that we referenced, I went to my first Brony convention in New Jersey, and I was a little nervous. First it was exciting because it was this huge sea of people, but the whole derpy thing had happened, and I didn't know how people were going to respond to me. And everybody was lovely, and I shouldn't have been nervous at all. So it's like I wasn't surprised, but then the level of fandom was I guess surprising, but really, really cool. Also, something that happened kind of in between there. My son Soren was so the last Roundup, if I'm remembering things correctly, aired in January, and I'm forgetting the date, but you guys might know.
It's okay.
But right before that, in December of the year before, my son Soren was getting, he was in the hospital getting a G-tube put in. And so he and I are hanging out in the hospital, and all of a sudden my email starts exploding because somebody, a fan, had discovered, I write a blog on Soren, and they discovered the blog and discovered an old post where we were raising funds for him. And it wasn't something we were even doing at that time, but they linked people to the foundation where people could donate money. And so it was, all of a sudden, all these donations started coming in, and the woman who ran the foundation was like, what the heck's going on? I was like, I'm so sorry. It's just these fans who are being very sweet. So that was before I'd actually met any fans at that point. And I'm just sitting in the hospital with my son, going through all these emails. So it kind of came in different stages and different waves with the fandom, which was really fun and interesting. And since then, the fans have actually raised money for Soren's school, which is a school for children with special needs. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I've always been so impressed with the charity element of the Brony fandom.
Am I the only one that finds it adorable that you named your son Soren? Like, that is so cool.
Was that before or after the show?
The Pegasus is named after my son.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, the story behind that is that with The Best Night Ever, I had to name this Pegasus. And I was like, oh, well, Rainbow Dash, it's Dash. And, what are other synonyms for flying? And it seriously took me a little bit to figure this all out. And I'm writing them down, and I have a thesaurus on my computer, and I'm like, writing different synonyms down. And then I come across soaring, and I was just, wow, I just kind of slapped myself and said, boy, Amy, you're really stupid. You have a son named Soren. Why didn't you think of that immediately? And so I put it in the script, and one of the things you don't know as a script goes through its many drafts, once it's approved and gets sent away, I don't know what happens, because I know what happens, but I don't get updates on, oh, we're at the storyboard stage. Oh, we did recording today. Oh, we decided to change that name. I wouldn't get updated on things like that. Because we're freelance writers, we're not all in the same studio with, PHX or anything. So I didn't know until the episode aired whether his name stuck or not. So it was really, really exciting for me when I saw the episode and saw Soren the Pegasus. And so that now my son has a Pegasus that was named after him.
That is so
really
cool.
Yeah.
All right, Key, you're up next.
Okay, so you've been in the cartoon writing industry since, well, a very
time.
Long time.
For a long time. I mean, you helped write for some of the the big cartoons that helped Cartoon Network get to be where it is. So you've seen a lot of growth of what can be shown in family and kids media over the years. I mean, even some of the episodes you wrote for Powerpuff Girls and Danny Phantom kind of set precedents for what topics and what kind of stories that can be done for these demographics. And with how we have shows like, we've had Korra and Steven Universe and a bunch of shows that are pushing the envelope of stuff that back in 2000 probably would not be allowed on TV.
Oh, yeah. Right.
What are some themes, personality types, character quirks, or just stories that you want to see introduced more into kid and family media? Because that is some of the at the same time the most restrictive, but also the most broad area of media that can be made today.
Yeah, fortunately, I think it's starting to be done, the things that I think should start happening. My friend Chris Savino, who created Loud House, has two gay dads on that show, which I think is fantastic, and what we should be representing, because we should show every kind of family. Because when you're young, when you have the young audience watching, if it's in your show, then you're like, oh, that's okay. That's not something I should be afraid of or anything like that. And then I know they had a recent episode where one of Lincoln's sister had a crush on a girl, and she but you didn't know through the whole episode that that's who she had a crush on, and so you don't find out till the end. And then when the girl opens the note, the object of her affection opens the note, the girl smiles, and so that's another step forward of, oh, it's okay, to have that representation for kids who are discovering that they're gay, to see that and be like, oh my gosh, what I'm feeling inside is okay, and to have it affirmed because you're seeing it on TV, and it, for some people are like, oh, well, that's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because you want to see yourself represented on TV, because that makes you feel like you're like everybody else.
Progression, basically.
I'm sorry?
Progression, basically? Like being a little bit more progressive.
Yeah, progressive, except, that everybody is, accepted.
Or accepted, yeah. I think a little bit more acceptance. I think that sounds better.
Yeah,
I have to say it's like normalizing that. Yeah, that's a thing. It's not going out of its way to like provoke any ideas or anything. It's just existing, and that's the best thing it can do, I guess.
Right.
Just show it's normal.
Yeah, it's certainly come a long way since, back when stuff like, and not even stuff on the level of sexuality, but stuff like people having certain disabilities. Like, I know that Finn from Adventure Time is actually canon to be colorblind, and people, it's that we see these things just brought up and normalized instead of having the whole like special in this special episode kind of
very special episode of Blossom, right? Yeah, that you don't have to focus a whole. That sometimes you can focus a whole thing, but then if it's not necessarily called out, but just part of life, because that's the point, is that this is just part of life.
Yeah. I think that's really good. I'm actually really glad that some of the topics that we're seeing in today's cartoons are, thank God, they're not like so taboo now to talk about, like, oh, we can't talk about this, think of what the parents are going to say. No, it's right. More so I think kids are slowly starting to understand more about this, because we're telling it in a way that kids can understand.
Right.
And it's sad because, well, in a way I feel sad that I'm not getting this like the current generation is getting, because I didn't learn about any of this same-sex or transgender. I didn't know about any of this until my I believe it was my freshman junior year of high school. And my first interaction, like was with a young girl, and she was a lesbian. I mean, a quick story, real quick.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I just got out of gym class. The girls were picking on me because I'm a rather large girl. I'm trying to lose weight, but I didn't want to deal with them peer pressuring and making me feel bad about myself. So I went and sat in the hall. And another girl, pretty little girl. She had blonde hair, blue eyes, and she just came out and sat with me. And she said, "Oh, you don't want to be in there either?" I'm like, "No, they were being mean." She's like, "Yeah, they were being mean to me too." The first thing I assume is that when she said they were being mean to her, is they were picking on her for how she looked. So I immediately said, "Why would they pick on you? You look beautiful. You're a gorgeous girl. I'm fat and ugly." And she's like, "Oh, sweetie, I'm gay." I'm like,
right.
Okay, what does that mean? She's
Right.
like, well, I'm into same sex. I'm like, So I'm tilting my head at this, and I'm like, could you explain?
Does not compute.
Yeah, so she gets at this because I clearly was in the dark. And she explained, and I think she was just more happy at the fact that I was willing to listen and be educated.
Right, absolutely.
And it's unfortunate that some people just don't want that, or think that children should not be educated about this, and that, like, oh no, they're teaching you bad things, you shouldn't listen to this. No, it's just the way people choose to live their lives.
Yeah.
So
Well, So I'm gonna take this interview in a slightly different direction. We're going off of writing into music. So I remember seeing at quite a few Roni conventions that you were at, Amy. You love the ukulele.
Well, I do love my ukulele. I actually was encouraged, I guess is the right word, by the Brony community to figure out how to play the ukulele. The story goes that I got a ukulele for my birthday from my husband, and I must have tweeted about it and said, "Oh, I got a ukulele for my birthday," and then that kind of people noticed that, and they said, "Oh, great, you can play your ukulele at the next convention." And I kind of went, "Oh shit, that means I better actually learn how to play the ukulele." And so then I took a community college class and learned to play the ukulele. And that's why I started playing at conventions. It was because people were like, "Hey, are you bringing your ukulele? Hey, are you," and then...
let's have a panel. Let's just sit around and listen to you play ukulele. Like, it'll be a great time.
Yeah, then it got to the panel situation of, "Hey, Amy, do you want to do a ukulele panel?" I'm like, oh shit, I better learn more than one song. So it just kind of kept snowballing to now I would consider myself an intermediate ukulele player. I can't do like fancy picking or anything like that. I'm a pretty good strummer. I'm pretty awesome at least six chords. I play ukulele with my coworker at Disney once a week. We'll meet we have this courtyard where I work, and we'll go outside and we'll play.
Aww.
I play for Soren. He enjoys my playing. So yeah, it's just kind of become a thing that I never expected it to become a thing.
Well, I think it really turned out for the best, I think, because it's given like so many different situations where you can entertain not just fans but your son as well, and also just being able to just sit outside and just play music with like no real rhyme or reason is just, it's very relaxing, It
is, and like I said earlier, I'm a singer, and I took piano when I was a kid, but I wasn't very good at it, and I don't have a piano here in my house. So I wanted an instrument where I could play and then be able to sing, and so ukulele has provided that for me.
So do you think you'll maybe work together with like Rebecca Sugar at some point, since like both of you are like really good at like ukulele, you maybe? I mean, it's just a thing, because when I hear ukulele, I'm instantly reminded of like Steven Universe and whatnot.
Okay.
So
I'm reminded of Hawaii.
Yeah, I think of that one cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Right.
I think of Lilo and Stitch.
2000s.
Oh, interesting. And the nice thing at conventions is during the signings, when I have downtime, I'll just play ukulele, and then the other people who are in the signing room will come up to me, and they said that was such a relaxing signing session with all that nice background music. So I provide a nice, soothing environment for others.
And I think that's what we try to do here too.
There you go.
I'm sorry, where's your ukulele?
Yeah, where's
Yeah,
that?
Toon.
Hey,
You've stepped up to the plate now.
No. In our defense, we do have someone who can play the guitar. Kiki's boyfriend, Golden Fox. So unfortunately, he's not with us, but he plays the guitar.
I'll let you know. I know how to play -1 chords on the guitar, and I rock it.
I can play a type of guitar, air guitar.
The air guitar.
I'm pretty good at Guitar Hero. Does that maybe that counts?
I called it. I was gonna.
Anyways, Key,
yes.
I believe
Catherine,
next.
your turn.
Yes. To bring the train back to the station, choo-choo. To go with the whole topic of music.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the musical creations you've done, whether it be musical episodes like Pinky Pride or just single songs, what has been your favorite thing that you've contributed to? Because you've done a lot of music for not just Pony. If I'm correct, did you also help out with the lyrics for See Me, Feel Me, Know Me from Powerpuff Girls?
I didn't actually help with the lyrics. That's all Dave Smith.
That is interesting.
Yeah, Dave Smith is brilliant. But on See Me, Feel Me, Know Me, I actually did get to go into the booth and sing background.
Oh.
So my voice is in there. But good reference to See Me, Feel Me, Know Me.
Best episode of the show, man.
Weird episode. It took so long to make that episode. Long story. But I would say the Crusaders of the Lost Mark would probably be kind of, overarching because of what the story was about and that they were finally getting their cutie marks. So it was a very important episode, I think in the history of the show. And then Diamond Tiara had her song. Originally, that song wasn't in there. They had a song, and this was something that I wrote that I hated, and I hated it while I was writing it. After Diamond Tiara lost, they sang a kind of Ding Dong the Witch is Dead type song. And it was just like really just salt in the wound. Just like, ouch, yeah, just like sticking it to Diamond Tiara. It was kind of horrible. And she's already just kick that pony when she's down, man. And Megan wrote back, she's like, yeah, I'm not sure about that song. And I was like, I'm so glad because I hate it. And she said, and I got a note saying, hey, we think Diamond Tiara needs a turning point song. And I totally agreed. And I was so happy that that I got to scrap the other song and write Diamond Tiara's song, because she needed that, evolution as a character. But yeah, writing that whole thing. And then I'm trying to remember it was at Everfree Northwest last year. Whenever I do songs, what I tend to do is I tend not to come up with an original tune, though that's what I did with the Smile song. It wasn't the tune that was used, but I come up with an original tune because otherwise I can't figure out how to do the lyrics. I need to have music
something for the cadence.
Yeah, exactly. But then what I usually do is I pick an existing song and hang the lyrics on that. And at Everfree Northwest last year, I got to, I performed and the original CMCs performed, and we did my version of the songs from the Cutie Mark Crusaders. And that was just a lot of fun to do and perform for everybody.
Oh, that's cool. I was gonna ask a bonus question of what has been your favorite convention experience, but I think that's a pretty good one to go with.
Yeah, I've had lots of good convention experiences. That was a very good one. We screened. I made a documentary called Jason Bateman Thinks I'm Dead, and screened that at Midwestria.
Oh wow, you remember Midwestria? Oh man, that was
Midwestria. That's such a silly pun. I love it.
Was that at Midwestria? No. It was at MLP MSP. But I did go to Midwestria. We didn't screen my movie there. Sorry, again, so many conventions.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of. Trust me.
It was. And Midwestria was my second convention, and actually it was one of my favorite conventions because it was so tiny, and it was in this funky lodge type place. It just felt like you were at camp.
Yeah.
And I loved that convention, and they had karaoke. So again, another opportunity. This is before I had my ukulele with me, and it gave me an opportunity to sing. But no, it was at MLP MSP that we screened my movie, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, lots of good convention experiences.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, Zach, you were you? I think, Amy, you went to Nightmare Nights 2016, I think?
Yeah, that was last year. Yes, I did.
Yes. Yeah. How I remember that is that I just remember sleeping in when it was your autograph session. I was like, oh. And then I was walking down the hallway, and I see you and I think Larson just walking down, and I'm like, the urge to say hi, and I raised my hand and I slowly lowered it, realizing, not yet.
Oh, we were just walking in the hall.
I know, but I was like, not yet. Not like this.
One day, a proper meeting.
On a podcast of some kind.
This is your proper meeting? Man.
Yeah.
Meeting, yeah. Shush you, Ninja. Speaking of which, Ninja, you have the next question.
Oh, okay. Okay, now if you had... I'm going to bring it back a little bit to Pony. If you had complete creative freedom over an MLP episode, like no limitations, what story would you tell?
Well, I pitched lots of things that didn't happen. So, and then now they're going to finally be merponies in the movie, which I've actually known for a while.
I'm trying not to sing the song.
I swear, if there's like a remaster remix of that song like in the theaters, like everyone's going to go insane with that.
Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Anyway, continue. Sorry.
I don't know. Total freedom. I would. It's so hard because things have been done now that I haven't seen all the episodes. I'm trying to catch up. And I guess was there one with referencing Applejack's parents recently?
Yes, actually.
That's the one that my DVR didn't record that, so I'm a little bitter.
With the good old man of William Shatner and the lady Felicia Day.
It still hasn't been released yet in America, has it, though? That was released in Australia, right?
It was an unfortunate leak, yes, for Australia.
First it was Canada, and then it's Australia, so what can you do?
Yeah. That's why
Has it aired in America?
It's not aired in America yet.
Technically yet, no.
Okay, so then I haven't really missed it.
No, it's just late.
Okay, I see. Okay, so anyhow, I am interested to watch that one and see, because what I've gathered from the comments is that
Hello?
Amy.
There you are.
Yeah, there you are.
You died for a minute.
I know. That's so sad.
We brought you back to life.
Thanks. Anyhow, I would say dealing with Applejack's parents, but now it's been dealt with, so, the ship is sailed.
I won't spoil anything. It's gonna make you cry.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a good way.
I mean, they didn't say how they died, so you can have creative freedom.
Well,
with
yeah,
that.
that's what I wanted to say. It's just like, now I do not mean to reveal any things from the episode, and although it's heavily implied, they never quite say the thing that we all want them to say, the big elephant in the room, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
You were killed by elephants, that's how they died.
Oh, no. What a tragic way to go.
Yeah, so that's one I would touch. Yeah, I can think of, I don't know. It's hard when you've been away from it to try and think of. I'm sure Larson came up with some sort of snarky idea.
Well, what was another one of your pitches then, like that you were going to go with?
Well, some of the things that I pitched, I ended up putting in the Journal of the Two Sisters. So I wanted so the Journal of the Two Sisters has two parts, and in the Journal of the Two Sisters part, we have an incident with the Griffins, and that whole incident that happens, I wanted that to be an episode, but nobody, I pitched it and it didn't fly.
For some odd reason.
So I ended up putting it in the book. And then in the Journal of Friendship portion of the book, Pinkie Pie talks about Lollygabbing Day, and that she wants an official day called Lollygabbing, where all you do is, it's like lollygagging, so it's you just hanging around and talking all the time.
Right.
Which is what Pinkie does anyhow. But she wanted an official day of this, and that one didn't get approved either. And so I just have this huge entry in the journal of Pinkie Pie just gabbing and gabbing and gabbing about Lollygabbing Day. And it's one of my favorite journal entries. So yeah, those are, anything with Pinkie, being a goofball, I think is a good thing.
So now it's confirmed the Pinkie show will come out January 32nd.
The Pinkie Flower Stickman show.
Yes.
It's a crossover that we all wanted.
We haven't pointed out yet, but Miss Keyframe here is a huge Pinkie Pie fan. In fact, she is the Pinkie Pie of our group.
Nice.
Yes.
We have a very tight knit circle. She is indeed our Pinkie
Goofball.
Pie.
I mean, my first episode of the show that I watched, because I was a very smart cookie and I didn't look at an episode guide, so I just picked a random episode off YouTube, was Too Many Pinkie Pies, and I thought, watching season 3, that Pinkie Pie was the main character of the show, and then I was like, oh wait, there's 2 more seasons of the show?
More Pinkie!
More Pinkie! And then I discover, it's about the purple one.
Hey, don't you be dissing my pony.
No, I said okay.
Uh-huh.
Pinkie ones.
Yeah, I'm the Twilight of the group, so.
Gotcha.
Hey, Bliss, you're up next.
Blissy, you're up.
Okay. So, the honest thing is, when I first found out, you're working for Disney now, correct?
Yes, I am.
The first time I found out about this, it was during a collab with another one of our good friends, the Wilstonator, and we were collabing about Crusaders of the Lost Mark. And during our little review intro, his character goes berserk watching the episode, and then he proceeds to say, before breaking Lightning Bliss's art piece, I quote, "Rogers is writing Jesus, no wonder Disney wanted her."
It's very flattering, to say the least.
I love that line. He said it with such enthusiasm and excitement, and then I realized, and then I had to ask him while he was writing that, wait, she's not writing for MLP anymore? It's like, no, didn't you hear? She got accepted. She's working for Disney now. Like,
which congratulations for, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm like, I'm happy and sad at the same time.
I understand. Yeah, I've been at Disney now for 2 years. I'm on. It's hard to explain what I'm on. I originally started as freelance, and I wrote shorts for something called Star Darlings, which is a book series, and I wrote shorts to help promote the book series.
Which those shorts are very interesting because the books and stuff are made by the children of Frank Zappa.
Yes. Well, it's by Amit Zappa and his wife Shayna.
Yes.
Who are very lovely people. By the way, just a side note.
In case they're watching.
Well, they were like, why didn't you? No, they totally wouldn't. They're super cool people. My
question basically was, what's it like working for Disney?
Right. So then I, my boss liked what I did with the freelancing so much. He said, "Hey, do you want to join our team?" And their team at that time was part of publishing and think we were part of Interactive. You think I would know. But basically, it's called a new IP team, new intellectual property. So we were coming up with ideas that would hopefully be made into books and shorts and things like that, and product and so on. I wrote the second and third season for something called Whisker Haven Tales, which is on the Disney Junior app, and also they aired it on Disney Junior, and it's very cute. And then I've spent a lot of time coming up with ideas for things and that I can't talk about. But I work with a really great team, and so I've had a lot of fun there, and it's been a really awesome experience with those people.
Yeah, a lot of people, I can say right now, us included, we really miss you. Like, you created some of the best episodes for My Little Pony, and we really miss you, because you had such a unique style, to your episodes and whatnot.
Amy, I have to say, no, the Fire Nation has attacked, the Larson Nation has attacked. Everyone is alicorns now. People are just flying around talking about lessons 0 through 17. The balance has been thrown off. We need you back.
I feel like I should be offended with that alicorn remark, but okay.
Man, I thought that alicorn Spike was a bold but necessary move for the show going forward.
Very unexpected,
right? See, out of all of them, that makes the most sense, because he's the only one that doesn't have wings out of all the dragons. So.
Yeah. No, I miss writing for the show, because writing for those characters, the characters that Lauren created, are so solid and so interesting, that anytime I got to write an episode, it was like going back to Ponyville was like going back home, and it was just so much fun and so lovely. So I miss it a lot. So there you go.
Maybe come back. You can blame it.
And Key. You can blame it on me. Okay. Toon, I guess you get to finish us off with the last questaroonie.
Yeah. Oh wow, this has been going on for almost an hour. I guess time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so no, shush. I guess to properly end this, I guess in the future, maybe 5 or 10 years from now, like when you've moved on, I guess, which hopefully I hope that never happens. But
am I dead now? What's happened to
no,
me?
no, not that.
Larson got you finally.
Oh man, rough.
What do you want people to learn from you in the future? What do you want them to take away from your work, to be inspired by, to, I guess, learn from?
Wow, that's a heavy question.
Yourself in 5 years.
I'd like to see myself at the beach. I just to have fun with what you do and find joy in what you do, because I really do have, as much as I planned to be an actor. One of my acting friends who I went to graduate school, when I transitioned to writing, he said, "Do you miss acting?" And I didn't, because I was fulfilling my creative side by writing. And so what I would say is, whatever your passion is, to be okay with adjusting as you go along, because you might find something unexpected and exciting that fulfills you just as much. And to have fun and to sing.
Well, I think we do need a little bit of light in the world, and I think that light that comes from your work, that comes from your episodes, and just the way you present, I guess, what you create, that's something that everyone should take away from.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a nice little cheery, positive way to end this. So, before we head off, Amy, is there anything you want to plug?
I don't think so. No. I think I'm plugless.
Well, I'm guessing social media or books or things
I'm
you're
on
working
Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Keating Rogers. If you have other questions for me that I didn't answer, feel free. I will answer appropriate ones. And yeah, I don't have a lot to plug at the moment. I'm not currently going to any conventions, so I can't plug like, hey, I'll see you there. But yeah, I wish I had some. That'd be nice if I had something to plug. Buy Larson's book. Is that what I should say at this point?
No. Well, yes.
I think I'm contractually obligated to say that, right?
Yeah.
Actually just finished, and this is no joke. I actually just finished the second one, and it was really good. I was going to say super good, but that was terrible grammar. But it was really terrific. I read it to Soren. We both enjoyed it. I've told Larson this already. Soren and I enjoyed it more than we enjoyed 1984 when I read that to him.
That's a heavy subject matter book.
That is a great compliment.
It's
better for my son than 1984.
He's going to put that on the next cover. And I think his next book is coming out in August, so I'm going to read that after I'm done with Breakfast of Champions. So it's summer reading with Amy. So so far I've read Handmaid's Tale, 1984. Cadets of the Shadow Cadets of Pennyroyal Academy. He has to shorten the titles. And now I'm on Breakfast of Champions, so if you need book suggestions, come to me, write to me on Twitter, and I'll tell you my reading list. That's what I have to plug.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that works rather well. So, for those who are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and put down in the comments what your favorite Amy Keating Rogers episode is. I know for a fact my favorite is actually Pinky Pride. It is.
Wow.
Hits close.
My personal favorite thing, it was actually something that not only inspired me to be an artist and do visual storytelling, but also really helped me because when I was a kid, I had a lot of emotional mental problems kind of things that I didn't know how to get a grasp on. And it was while you were head writer for Powerpuff Girls, the episode All Chalked Up, and learning how that you can use art in a healthy way to let out emotions. And that episode will always be, to me, the most poignant episode of Powerpuff Girls. So
awesome! The story behind that one, I actually wrote a book version of that first, and
right.
Yeah. And then we decided to make it into an episode. So we took my book and then kind of went backwards into a show. So I'm glad that one helped you.
Yes.
Bliss, Ninja, did you two either have a favorite Amy Keating Rogers episode?
Favorite Amy Keating Rogers episode? Well, I think she definitely went out on a bang with MLP. Definitely with the
main attraction.
It was the
It
was the main attraction, of course, the one with such lovely music. Did you, by any chance, write some of the lyrics for that song, the final?
I wrote lyrics for this for all of them. The Equestria anthem is all me. The other two songs, I wrote the first version, and then it goes to Daniel, and he makes it work with a song. So, but yes, my lyrics are in there.
I thought it was beautiful. It was really well done.
And Bliss?
If not that one, because I was going to say that one. Did you write the Gallo one?
I did.
Yeah.
The best night ever. Yes. Yeah. I find it funny that one's my favorite because, like, it's about them expecting this wonderful, beautiful night, and it turns out not to be, but it's okay because they're with their friends.
Yeah.
And the irony is that I've had recently an experience at going to a convention, and it didn't turn out the way I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay because I just realized because of that episode, I was with my friends.
That's cool.
Made it all better.
All right. I think that takes care of everything. So thank you all for watching. Join us on our next episode when we do the thing with ponies and stuff. We don't know at this point. We'll figure it out in post. Thank you all for watching, and stay awesome.